Hi friends, how are you all? Welcome to Lost in Spain. This is Atisham and today I'm lost in the beautiful city of Segovia. Segovia is a World Heritage City located 90 kilometers northwest of Madrid. In this video, I'm going to bring you a walking tour of Segovia that will start under this beautiful Roman aqueduct that you see behind me, and crossing the whole city, we reach the Alcazar Castle of Segovia. So that's the best and the easiest way to see the main sights of Segovia. So let's discover Segovia today. The best way to go to Segovia is by driving. If you can rent a car, then you can drive to Segovia. You can take the toll road that is around 1 hour drive, paying a toll of 10 to 12 euros depending on the day you're driving on. Or you can pay no toll and go through the mountain road, seeing the beautiful scenery in La Sierra de Guadarrama. That is the name of the mountain range in the north of Madrid. There is also a public transport bus service that will take around 1 hour. It leaves from the Moncloa station in the north of Madrid, and the cost one-way ticket is around 5 or 6 euros. So it's really economical if you're going by bus. There is also a train that leaves from the Chamartín station, that is a north train station of Madrid. But believe me, the best way is to go through the road, and of course I love motorcycling, so I always go with my motorcycle. The most amazing monument of Segovia is the Roman Aqueduct of Segovia. It was built by the Romans in the late 1st and early 2nd century to bring water to the city of Segovia. It starts in the mountains, almost 16 kilometers away, and it brings water to the city. The water used to flow on the topmost part, that is the water canal. So there is always an inclination, an angle, so that the water could flow from a higher point to a lower point. So this thing has been standing here for almost 2000 years. The most amazing fact about this bridge, that is made up of more than 20,400 blocks of granite stone, is that between the stones there is no cement or no plaster. Nothing is holding the stones together. You really have to see it to believe it. When you come near to the aqueduct, you will see huge blocks of granite stones put on top of each other, and if you approach closely, you will see that between the stones there is nothing. So it's really a wonder of human engineering that we see here in the city of Segovia. That's what makes Segovia so special. The best preserved Roman aqueduct of Spain is right here in Segovia. So this is the bridge that is around 959 meters long. The highest point somewhere in the middle is around 29 meters high, and there are 166 arches in total. I would advise you to come early in the morning to avoid crowds, as Segovia gets full of people who come to Segovia not only to see the beautiful monuments like the aqueduct or the castle. The food of Segovia is really popular, that I will shortly talk about. So you can walk around the aqueduct. You can go on the right hand side to see the first arches. As the ground level comes up, the arches, they really look smaller and shorter in size. But the altitude on top was fully calculated so that the water could flow from one side to the other. So till the year 1993, all the traffic would pass under the aqueduct. I always imagined that nobody rammed any vehicle or something into the aqueduct, because it's all a game of balance. If one thing comes out from the aqueduct, everything will come falling down. So in front of the aqueduct, you have two streets. One is the big wider street that is on the left hand side. That was actually the old highway. But if you're coming walking here, you'll have to go on the right street that is going upwards. So let's go on that street that is known as Cay Del Serantes. When you walk through these beautiful streets of Segovia, you see all the houses of different eras that have beautiful geometrical patterns on the facades. These designs are known as los esgrafiados. These are believed to be of Moorish origin because they are very geometrical and symmetrical patterns. And it's a tradition that continues in Segovia for many centuries. So all the houses, they have these beautiful designs known as esgrafiados. You can even buy some magnets that show the designs of esgrafiados. In the older time, the city of Segovia started right here at the corner next to the house known as Casa de los Picos. This is a 15th century house that was right at the city entrance. So it was made in a very fortified manner. The Casa de los Picos nowadays is Escuela de Arte, the art school of Segovia. As I mentioned before, Segovia is famous for its food also. The most famous dish in Segovia is the roasted suckling piglet, el cochinillo. There are many places where you can try this cochinillo, but my favorite is the restaurant known as El Bernardino, located on the main street, Cay Cervantes, right in the historical quarter. It's a restaurant that was founded in the year 1939. And here they serve everything, especially the most famous roasted suckling piglet, el cochinillo. El cochinillo is a very famous dish. People from all around the world, they flock to Segovia to try the cochinillo. When they bring the whole cochinillo on a table, they cut the cochinillo with a plate. They slice it into pieces with a ceramic plate, and they then break the plate on the ground. It's like a local tradition in Segovia. So if you're in Segovia and you want to try the roasted suckling pig or the lamb, I would recommend the restaurant El Bernardino. Look how crispy and crunchy the skin is on the outside, and the meat inside is really soft, tender and juicy. I was also given a chance to go to their kitchen. They have a huge kitchen on the lower floor, and there are many people working, and they have big ovens where they roast the piglet, el cochinillo. So as I mentioned before, Segovia is famous for all the meat products, the local chorizo, chorizo de Cantimpalo, the huge white beans known as judiones de la granja, and then all the pork-based product like the chicharrón, torrezno, and all these things. So walking a few minutes on the Calle Cervantes, you'll reach a beautiful square that is known as Plaza del Medina del Campo. But most of the people know the square by the name of Juan Bravo. That's the sculpture right in the middle of the square, a 16th century noble of Segovia who participated in the uprising against Emperor Charles over his decision of higher taxes of the local populations. And guess what happened? He was beheaded by the king's army. But he's considered a hero. That's why his sculpture here. A very beautiful, picturesque square where you can stop to take some pictures. You have some sirens, las sirenas, and on one side of the square, you have a very old church, the St. Martin's Church from 12th century. That is a Romanesque architecture. So Segovia is famous for a local cake known as the ponche. That's the ponche cake, and there's a famous pastry shop which has all the beautiful cakes and pastries. But the most famous one is the ponche. So I stopped at the local pastry shop to have the ponche cake. That's the ponche. Made with marzipan. And right in the city center, we have the beautiful Plaza Mayor, the main city square, which has a lot of beautiful buildings around, and of course a lot of places where you can sit and have some drinks and tapas. The most impressive building here is the Cathedral of Segovia, that is dedicated to the local saint San Frutos. The Cathedral of Segovia, the last Gothic style cathedral of Spain that started building in the first half of 16th century during the rule of Emperor Charles. It started with very late Gothic, but it shows the influence of Renaissance that came after Gothic, and all the chapels inside are from 18th century. They show a lot of Baroque architecture. It cost only €4 to go inside the cathedral. So if you have some spare time, like an hour or so, you can easily visit the Cathedral of Segovia. If you have some extra spare time, then you can even do the tower. That is a special tour in which they take you on top of the tower, and from there you can see the beautiful views around the city. The tower that stands at 88 meters high was actually even higher. It was more than 100 meters high, but it was struck by lightning, so they repaired it at 88 meters, and there are 199 steps to go up the tower. And walking just 5 minutes from the cathedral, you reach the Alcazar Castle of Segovia. It is a building that was founded by the Moors back in the 11th century over some Roman ruins, and it has suffered a lot of reforms throughout its history. It was the residence of the kings of the Kingdom of Castilla, the very famous Queen Isabella. She also lived in this very castle. It cost only €7 to go inside the castle, and you can even climb the tower by paying the extra €3 tower ticket. It has beautiful wooden carvings all around. These carvings are a restoration that were done after the original ones were destroyed in a fire that happened in the year 1862. There is a mural painting that shows the moment of the crowning of Queen Isabella that happened in Segovia back in the year 1474. It will take at least 3/4, like 45 minutes to visit the castle, and if you're climbing the tower, then you will need another 45 minutes, so you will have to need in total 2 hours to see the castle in a nice way. It has beautiful views of all the valleys and the mountains around, and believe me, it's totally worth visiting the Alcazar Castle. It's like the Walt Disney Castle of Spain. After you visit the castle, don't forget to walk down to the valley. There is a viewpoint known as San Marcos viewpoint, from where you have the best view of the castle from outside the city. As there is no Uber service here in Segovia, I'm leaving you the local taxi number in the description so that you can call the taxi in case you don't want to walk and take a taxi to the viewpoint or to the train station or the bus station. So friends, as I mentioned before, Segovia is a really beautiful city. It's actually one of my favorite places to visit around Madrid, and you can easily spend a half day or even a full day in Segovia, and you have some spare time. You can even spend a night in Segovia, which is obviously very romantic and very beautiful. And if you're spending more than a day in Segovia, then I would also recommend venturing deeper into the province to see the smaller towns and villages in the province of Segovia, like La Granja, Sepulveda or Pedraza. All these are also very beautiful places that really show you the medieval charm and history of the province of Segovia. So friends, the best way to finish your sightseeing of Segovia is by coming to the Mirador San Marcos viewpoint. From here, you have the best view of the castle. To come here, you can either come walking from the main road, or there is a trail next to the castle you can take downhill, or the better way is to call a taxi. I'm leaving you the local taxi service number in the description. So wherever you're in Madrid, please make sure that you're coming to visit Segovia. So that was my walking tour of Segovia. You can adjust it according to your needs. You want to spend more time, less time, you can skip or add one or more things. So please do keep in touch. Please do like and share the channel, and I'll bring you some more interesting things in my future videos. Till then, hasta luego. Bye bye from Segovia.